Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fight Club 5. We're finally on the 5th card of these cards. For some strange reason, I was expecting a different one to be said. Anyhow, main event of the evening will be Machine Gun versus Don't Wrestle Me. Joining me in the booth tonight will be AJS Pug and Crooks.
Yo, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
How are you doing, everyone? I'm obviously excited to do this card with Crooks and Doctor. I'm hoping for some good fights here, and I'll pass this all back over to Doctor.
Yeah, well, this card is a very looking card. We've got Daniel Freeman coming in on the very beginning of the co-main event. We've got Chasing Fam, a well-known competitor, a champion all the way back in UFC 3, Machine Gun. Everybody knows him. If you deal with the Discord in any capacity, Don't Wrestle Me. He's probably looking for that first win again, possibly against Machine Gun. That's a good main event to look forward to that too. With that being said, though, I think we should get on to the first fight. Wouldn't you agree, with Master Uzi versus Ferg TKS?
Yeah, it's gonna be a real interesting fight here. I can't really see what weight classes were this, or what weight class is this fight gonna take place in here.
I believe this is a featherweight fight.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll see a Connor and a Max Holloway pickup. It might be real interesting here. These guys seem to be. Oh, okay. Is that a creative fight? Oh,
yeah,
it's a creative fighter. It's McKee, bro. Fresh off his win over Pitbull.
Oh, I know. So starts out very much poking the block of Volkanovski, picking at him. Volkanovski hasn't yet to actually land a punch. That being said, though,
Lovely ankle pick from Volkanovski there to get down to the ground. So obviously, depending on the calf build they've picked, obviously you might not have the greatest of ground stats, but
you say that he lands into a rubber guard. Evidently, probably a jiu-jitsu calf. With that being said, though, he does get the stat guard here. Volkanovski now put into the feet on hips, looks to transition into the half guard, does get denied though, and back into side control on bottom. Denies a full guard.
And this is real tricky ground game. He might have that Vanguard calf on because that's what it looks like. He's probably going to try to go for the rubber guard here again. He does, and he does get it, but Volkanovski does have that stat guard, so he needs to be real careful. But if I was him, I would really just roll him and get him into a dominant position here if I was Quiet Bunny.
Interesting pick. He is seemingly going quite high on it, even with the fairly even stand. It is definitely going in the favour of the red, but as I say, the blue is creeping up very slightly. Lovely tracking by McKee, getting this platter down.
I was going to say Ferg TSK is tracking this perfectly, Doctor.
He really
and I think he might actually get it.
Really close. He narrowly avoids getting getting the top mount position with 2 minutes 20 left on the clock. You gotta be thinking you want to get straight off that ground, and he does so now.
I've been trying to do. Sorry, Crooks. I was just going to say you'd want to try and use the boxing and the kicks of Volkanovski, because obviously he's got that 5-star league calf kick. I think it's the lead one anyway. So chop the legs a bit, slow your opponent down, and then chop the body and go for the head that way when he drops his hands.
Yeah, that would be the smartest game plan, but it looks like he's back here on the ground. He sweeps him wisely, but he needs to be careful of getting thrown into that full guard, which happened again, but he's able to avoid getting stuck in that rubber guard and wisely gets back up.
Yeah, 1 minute 20 left on the clock, and so far McKee wants to take down the ground. Volkanovski needs to keep it on feet and look for that box, and another spinning hand plant, this time not countered with a single leg, as we saw earlier on. And Volkanovski playing very aggressive. If he's going to throw that amount of combos, he needs to be hitting the shots. Kimura attempt now, 50 seconds left on the clock.
I was going to say this could be very dangerous because the tracking was so good on that omoplata. I think he might actually get the, if he can keep the tracking down.
Does ditch it instead, and instead tries to go for a rubber guard, does get the deny into that full guard now on top.
This is a bad place to be. It's a very, very bad place to be, especially in postured up with the last 10 seconds. He needs to not eat too much damage. Wisely, he's able to slip that straight punch, and that's going to end the round here.
Indeed. Pug, how would you score that round? I would definitely give McKee the round, although you could argue that the strikes landed by Volkanovski did more than the sub-attempts of McKee.
I was going to give it that round to McGee, just for the simple fact is that the subs came very, very close to getting finished. But as you were saying, the cumulative damage on this game normally goes by that, so it might have been Volkanovski's. I don't know if Crooks agrees with me.
I feel like the joint sub being as deep as it was, there wasn't too many significant strikes landed on McKee for it to go really in Volkanovski's favor. So I'd have to give it to McKee in the first round as well.
So far, Volkanovski's showing very much patient. He probably wants to put a bit more pressure on McKee just so he doesn't have the threat of takedowns. That thing he said, though, he takes him down. An interesting choice, especially from what we saw within the first round. Does get the get up, though, instantly. Probably a bit of waste of stam instead, though.
Was the first round just a bit of debut nerves, you know, because obviously under the bright lights, some people do feel the nerves and they want to make a good impression, and he's just collected himself. Now he's fighting to his game plan. He's stopping them takedowns and he's popping off the jab, making sure there's space between him and McGee.
Yeah, and I think he's just starting to understand that he needs to let the hands go. If he does a lot of damage on the feet, especially in UFC 4, it'll go a long way if nothing is done on the ground by McKee. So I think his game plan is going to be do some damage like that right there, do a lot of damage on the feet, and if it goes to the ground, try not to let those subs get to you.
Does get the neither stam or McKee very low, does attempt Kimura. This is an interesting thing to do here. He instantly ditches on it, and it still gets to a sprawl now. Words, gets the reversal
Oh,
though,
nice
there.
pre-deny.
And he's back up on the feet.
Yeah, I'm liking what Master Uzi is doing. He's now working that, chopping that body down, making sure that stamina comes down even more. Because even if he does go for a sub on the ground, he's not got the long-term stamina to really threaten as long as he keeps his sub defense tight and on point.
Yeah, and he's denying a lot of the takedowns as well. He's doing some good work up there on the clinch right there. Ooh, good thing McKee didn't throw that hook because he would have gotten countered heavy right there.
Indeed, Crooks. Well, you've got to imagine McKee had such a great success within the first 5 minutes of this fight, but now it seems very much the case that Uzi is content. He's backed off a bit, he's picking his shots as you said, and he's just slowly whittling down the block and health stats of McKee.
Yeah, and I think McKee's getting a bit frustrated because he's starting to taunt. That normally is a sign you're in your opponent's head and they can't get outgoing. That's why they're trying to get you to do something rash so they can counter you.
Yeah, he's playing it real patient. Look at him, he's pressuring. Master Uzi, this looks like a totally different fighter than the one we saw in the first round. He looks like he's more in command of what he's trying to do. He's putting the pressure on. McKee's stamina is draining because of those denied takedowns, and that's going to be the end of the second round, but I feel like the momentum has really swung in the favor of Master Uzi.
Yeah, again, just have a quick look at those round one stats. 2 significant strikes, 2-6 of Volkanovski. That could have easily gone to Volkanovski, I would say. But those second round stats showed it all and how different Master Uzi was in those 5 minutes. Coming into the third, I'm expecting Uzi to probably keep that same pace and texture on McKee, probably look for those takedowns, Buzz.
Yeah, I'd expect Master Uzi to keep the same game plan at what he had in that second round because it was working well. And he's trying to time that knee right up the middle as McKee's shooting for that takedown. So obviously that can be devastating and it could even be like a flash KO if timed right. But he's defended that back drag takedown very well. And I'm liking what he's doing. He's throwing lovely body rock.
Ooh, that was brutal. That was brutal. I could feel that, and I'm not even playing the game right now.
Gets to the body with the knee again. Another lead hook. He is hunting for that pullback just a bit. Does get the takedown here. Low stam, and he's nearly gassed out from that one single takedown. Volkanovski's cardio here is definitely playing a major key in how he's winning this fight.
Yeah, definitely. Volkanovski he's got a gas tank for days. So it's very hard to gas him out unless you're hitting his body. So McGee needs to watch out really on the ground now because Volkanovski has a great ground game. But he's just been denied there. Always going for the armbar.
Does get the no though. His low stam here does get the get up very cleanly. Both of them gassed out here, but in terms of long-term stam, Volkanovski is the one winning. Does come in aggressive though at the very end.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of denying the submission attempts from McKee when he's on the ground. And even when he gets denied himself, he still has enough stamina to be able to deny it. He drops him right there. This might be it. He might be able to get the finish.
And he does.
And he does.
Lovely job there by Master Uzi there, controlling the fight, changed his fight up, coming to that round 2, and managed to get the win with the ground and pound finish in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was real interesting the way that he played that. Like you said earlier, AJ, it might have been that he had some nerves going into that first round, because in the 2nd round he looked like he was more controlled. He was able to dominate in the way that he wanted to. He was putting that pressure on when he needed to. He was avoiding the takedowns. He was avoiding the submissions, and he just drained McKee's stamina to the point that no matter what he did, Volkanovski was going to be at the upper hand no matter where it went.
Yeah. Master Uzi really impressed from that 2nd round onwards. He stuck to his game plan. He drained that stamina, and he just took home a brilliant win in the 3rd round. And I'm looking forward to this next fight, because obviously it's got my teammate in, AJ's Blue Smoke versus Fight Jake Paul. So I'm hoping that we get an absolute banger and my teammate can come out on top.
Indeed, Blue Smoke picking the Adesanya pick, Jake Paul picking the Whitaker pick. It's very rare to see an Izzy pick, and with that being said, you have to very much stay in a kickbox style when you've got to play to the likeness of Izzy IRL.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, I just actually made a fighter showcase on Izzy, and it was against this exact matchup, and it was difficult. It was the most difficult fight I've ever had in my life, so we're going to see how Blue Smoke chooses to play this.
As a Whitaker player, you probably have to put on that pressure, dip to the legs, and come up top afterwards. On the other hand, Izzy needs to poke, he needs to use single shot combinations and just whittle down the health of Whitaker, who does have 96 recovery, so in between rounds it can get difficult.
Yeah, you've also got to be careful of obviously Whitaker's ground game if you are starting to piece him up a little bit on the feet, because he does have a decent ground stats, and that ground and pound from his heavy hands is lethal.
Yeah, and the foot speed is really what gives you the most problems when you're playing a Robert Whitaker as an Izzy, because he can close that distance so fast with that 1-2, and then his head kicks are so brutal, because that's the combination that he throws in real life, is that 1-2 head kick. It's very, very tricky to deal with. Overall, he's just a tank in middleweight, so Blue Smoke's trying to do the best he can to avoid getting in too many pocket exchanges with him, but it's kind of an inevitability when you're fighting a Robert Whitaker.
Yeah, indeed. Well, both opponents saying fairly measured. The leg kick, both of them is making itself known. I don't think it's been in any significant play so far. Izzy's non-stop movement, he probably wants to plant on a couple of kicks, but I'm not sure what else Izzy could really do here, Pug, to really make this go in his favour.
I'd like to see him try and set up like a spin kick to the body, something like that, something which can, as Whitaker's coming in, which can really get the hits done to the body. So obviously drain that stamina, make him think about something that he's going low rather than just headhunting all the time. Because once someone gets your reads, they can make it really hard, especially if you slip off that centre line.
Yeah, and if I was Blue Smoke, I'd add in some knees. He got slip countered right there. That's tough, especially against the cage. Now Robert Whitaker's going to go for that side saddle throw, and he got it. But when they're on the feet, he just needs to throw a couple knees and use the clinch to reverse the position. I feel like that's not as utilized as it should be. He can use Israel Adesanya's clinch to just put Robert Whitaker back up against the cage, so that way he can create some space of his own.
Yeah, and obviously Izzy's got that. He got that buff, didn't he, on the ground? So he should find it pretty easy to get up as long as he takes his time. If I was him here now, I'd be getting up, not getting risky, getting swept like he just has.
Does go for another one. Gets a denial here. Whitaker now on top, finally seeming to find his home, and starts with some heavy ground and pound. Lands cleanly there. Izzy having some difficult times. Does get the side control now from this position. Whitaker so far has controlled most of this round, and it's only been 3 minutes into this fight.
Yeah, and Adesanya looks stamina just started to flash there for a second, so you don't really want to be gassed out with Whitaker on top, especially in full mount.
Yeah, especially with the buff he got after the Calvin Gastelum fight with his ground and pound. He definitely has the advantage stat-wise here against Israel Adesanya. But as we can see, Blue Smoke is trying to reverse the position. He's out of stamina now. Good choice by by Robert Whittaker here. He can do some major damage. Blue Smoke really needs to post some of these hooks if he wants to survive here for the rest of the round.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. So far, Jake Paul has taken very much heavy control here, just digging it. He's leaning into those hooks as well, which isn't helping the case of Izzy. The ground and pound clearly hurting Izzy so badly. Jake Paul is so far taking dominant control of this fight.
Yeah, I totally agree. Jake Paul's definitely winning this fight. So I'd like to see Izzy get Blue Smoke get back up and maybe work them oblique kicks as he comes in, because you can get a hit stunt off that, and then you can work with your boxing. But he's just been knocked down again. And this could be it. And he manages to survive.
Yeah, I mean, Blue Smoke, you got to do something. You can't keep yourself back up on that cage like that. You have to utilize something to earn some respect from Jake Paul. Utilizing that clinch, hitting him with a couple knees, and just keeping him guessing as you move him onto the cage yourself would be something that I would recommend, but I know it's tougher to do than it is for me to say. Good knee right there, drains most of the stamina. Good slip right there by Jake Paul as he avoids major damage there. But maybe a spinning elbow could turn the tide of this fight too, if Blue Smoke actually wants to throw it.
Indeed, so far Whittaker slipping off to the side, digging to that, landing it very cleanly. Both of them digging the leg kicks, missed a wild head kick there, and Izzy just playing that pokey in and out style. But so far Whittaker does seem to be leading the dance.
Yeah, I'd like to see Blue Smoke not go all the way, just go straight back. I'd like to see him use lateral movement as well to keep, obviously, Jake Paul guessing on which way he's actually going to go. Use a bit more of them footsies so he can keep that jab and straight coming out. So he's got that distance in between him to use Izzy at the proper kicking range.
Yeah, I agree. He needs to do something to change it up just a little bit, because Jake Paul is just having his way with him. He's pressuring him, keeping him back up against that cage, and doing massive damage when he's able to get the read on the slip counters.
Yeah, when Whittaker gets them deadly slip counters, it can be lights out if it's properly, because he's got them power in them hands, and it's so dangerous. Like, he's just rocking him down. And I think this could be it.
No, back on the feet, luckily surviving here. Whittaker now digging that leg, takes it back, and is probably looking for a takedown of sorts, and he does manage to get it cleanly.
Yeah, he got that takedown well. But Izzy's on top. I'd like to see him get up, and he does. That's a smart move. He's obviously he's at a bit of disadvantage on the ground, I believe. I think Jake Paul's the better fighter down there, but lovely 1-2 head kick, like Brooks was saying. That head kick comes out so quick.
Yeah, he's back to...
Continue, Kurt.
Oh, no, sorry. He's just putting the pressure on him. Look at that. Pulls the elbow right there, and is just putting massive pressure on him. Hits him with that straight head kick, and this could be the end. He's going to get in the ground and pound scenario. That camera angle is not helping him. It looks like he's going to be able to get the finish there.
Lovely job by Jake Paul taking control of that fight. He looked very dominant within in the striking department and the grappling. Blue Smoke definitely had a tough time, and although he did well in some aspects, it was overall Jake Paul's fight.
Yeah, it certainly was. And I don't know what it is, but after saying that, I just sort of just want to fight Jake Paul to get revenge for my teammate there.
I don't blame you, man. I would want to do the same thing, but Jake Paul looked really good with the pressure. I mean, that matchup is a very tough matchup for an Izzy, the Robert Whittaker pick, but Jake Paul put the pressure on him. He was able to slip a lot of the strikes. He pull countered a spinning elbow, which is very difficult to do. He was able to punish him, put him up against the cage, cracked him with that straight head kick, and got the finish.
Yeah, it was beautiful work from Jake Paul. You can't take nothing away from his performance there. That was from start to finish. He controlled that fight, picked the shots he wanted, and put the pressure on. It's what you need to do when you're Robert Whittaker, and he played it perfectly.
Indeed, but with that being said, on to the following fight in the bantamweight division of Doomslayer versus Mayweather.
Who have the pick down here? Oh, Pedro Munoz versus TJ Dillashaw.
A man with 97 chin, which I think can go up 100 with perks, but that does need to be double checked. Lovely dig body, both of them starting out very high, but the whiffed head kicks start more. Question mark kick in return, overhand lands back. ducks a head kick, and this is a hectic fight already.
Yeah. I was going to say, is that NWO a camp on the PlayStation side? Because I've seen a couple on with that.
I believe so. I believe I fought Doomsayer on ranked a couple of days ago, so it might be a newer one. But these guys, man, they do not have good stamina management, man. They're just coming out trying to knock each other out from the opening bell. I mean, which plays more into Pedro Munoz's style than it does TJ Dillashaw.
I'd agree with Pedro's 97 chin, but also another thing to note is they're not really planting on their shots, so they're not getting the speed or the power. They're just throwing wild shot over and over again. Pug.
I was going to say, yeah, Mayweather is whiffing a lot of shots, and Pedro Munoz, Doomslayer, has got a massive stamina advantage already, which obviously isn't good for Mayweather, because if he gets caught when he's long-term stamps down like that, it can easily get cracked and dropped.
Yeah, and you can see, look at the long-term stamina is already in the favor of Pedro Munoz here, and he's doing good body work as well. If I'm Mayweather, I literally am just gonna calm down, try to pick my shots a little bit better, understand that Pedro Munoz is a pressure fighter like this, and yes, he does have a 97 chin health, but you can work to his body and drain his stamina. He does not have the best cardio in the world, but it looks like NWO is not giving him the chance to do that at all.
Indeed, yeah. I've got to admit that Dillashaw's doing a fantastic job of blocking the heavy shots that Pedro is throwing his way, although he is partly whiffing them at the same time. Starts to use now as his teeps, lands a couple in return. A minute 30 left on the clock, and so far it's definitely going in favour of Pedro, I would say.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going in the favour of Pedro this round. I'd like to see Mayweather maybe duck underneath a couple of hooks if he plants them and get them to the ground, because Dillashaw has great ground stats. And I'd say he'd have a statistically advantage down there.
Yeah, I mean, he would. And Mayweather's doing a good job of cracking that lead leg of Pedro Munoz. Make Pedro switch stance. I can't remember for the life of me right now what his switch stance stat is, but I know it's not very good because he does not switch often in his fights. Keep cracking at that leg. Make Doomsayer go into southpaw and see how good he is fighting from there. Good denial right there. Good uppercut on the break. Good body work. But he needs to be careful because that stamina is critically low, even though it's only the first round.
Yeah, indeed. But Dillashaw has managed to work down the stamp of Pedro's to be something similar. Now, attempts a flying knee, both of them standing back and forth, and with that, we call an end to round one.
I was going to say I don't know whose round that was, because I think Dillashaw got a rock, didn't he? Or at least a body health.
Yeah, he got a body health at the end of the round, but Pedro very much seems like he was controlling the most of that fight. Dillashaw did with. Goes for a takedown here and does get it cleanly, not wanting a repeat of the first round.
I was going to say, just to elaborate on what Crooks was saying, Pedro Munoz's switch stance is only an 87, so I will be cracking that lead leg all the more, make sure he switches stance. So obviously 87 is not very, well, it's very poor in my opinion.
Yeah, it is, and it'll slow down the power that Pedro Munoz has in his hand, as well as the footwork, which affects the backup speed. Good job on the Kimura denial right there. It looks like Mayweather may have the advantage here on the ground. He's doing a good job of staying patient. Good hooks to the head right there. Doesn't waste all of his stamina, so that way it doesn't give Pedro Munoz a good transition, but he gets it anyways. But Pedro does have rubber guard here, so TJ does need to be super, super careful here.
Does get the denial, though. Does get the denial into that. Attempts another denial. And it seems to be denial 60. I imagine Pedro would be looking for the rub guard. Instead, TJ gets up, fires a crane kick. And now Pedro digging back down to that body with 3 minutes left to go in the round.
Yeah, I'm liking what Dillashaw's doing. He obviously I thought he would have stayed on the ground more, but he's got back up. I'm hoping there we go. As I was just going to say, he's cracking that lead leg again. But I'm liking the combinations he's throwing. He's trying to get them lead uppercuts landing. Because obviously with Munoz throwing them big power shots, if he gets caught, it's probably going to end up in a rock.
Yeah, if Pedro Munoz hits you with a clean power shot, especially with stamina as low as what Mayweather has, it's going to be a big problem. Good flying knee right there, though. And it looks like Mayweather is starting to take control of this fight. That ground takedown gave him a little bit of confidence. He's cracking that leg. That leg is blinking already. Good takedown right there by Doomsayer, though. I would imagine TJ is going to try to get up but he actually gets put in half guard. So let's see what Doomsayer does right here for the rest of the round.
Full J in the favour of Pedro, can easily go for the top mount transition and probably get it though. Fakes it, just happy to stay in his half guard. Mayweather probably wants to look transition, does get the top mount here. Low stand, but does get up here. Lovely job with a minute 20 left on the clock. A death kick fires, stuns him, and Pedro doubles on the uppercuts, putting on this pressure again. Attempts to take down and does get it cleanly. Guillotine attempt, a minute left on the clock.
If he can track this well, it might get sunk in because he's got a massive stamina advantage. And Mayweather seems to be tracking okay.
He's tracking it decently, does seem to be in favour of the escape. Pedro is managing to escape.
I think it's going to get out, yeah.
Yeah, it does seem to be the case. He does go for the counter though. This can be risky. You never know if this will be an issue or not.
Yeah, there's not enough time, I don't think, to be able to get this counter. Actually, there might be, but Mayweather is doing a good job of denying it. He's moving his stick very, very well.
Does manage to get out at the very end.
Yeah, that was a real close one. That's very tricky when you go for guillotines right there.
Yep. That being said, though, that probably leans it in the favour of Dillashaw round, though. I would definitely give it 1-1 all coming into the third. Both of them probably looking for a finish or a definite scorer.
I definitely have this fight as 1-1. So I'd like to see both of them go all out and just go for a finish. But obviously fight smart, but you definitely need to go for a finish if you're both of them.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the staminas now. Their long-term staminas are about equal. And as you can see, Doomsayer had to switch into southpaw, which is going to decrease that power. So maybe Mayweather, maybe he should exchange a little more in the pocket with the 95 power of TJ Dillashaw. Maybe it makes him a little more comfortable. But it looks like both of these guys are really starting to go for it here at the end of this, or in this last round, I'm sorry.
Indeed. Well, Dillashaw's current thing, he finally lands that pullback. He was hunting for that for the last minute and a bit, and that's been the mainstay of what he's been wanting. That knockdown probably wins in the round so far. He probably just needs to play patient and look for another one. Lands it on the uppercut as he ducks into it, and a minute 30 left on the clock. Doomslayer is the one losing
and that
so
leg's
far.
cracked again. I was going to say, I've noticed Doomslayer likes to duck a lot when he's seen everything so far. Mayweather, I'd be trying to throw in that lead uppercut, or maybe pull back rear uppercut, because he's ducking all the time.
Oh, that uppercut does clip, as you mentioned, Pug. And that being said, now heavy ground and pound landing. It could be the end of the finish. Does get the reversal, though, into back sitting. Remember that the back sitting rear naked choke is banned, but instead goes for the armbar from this position.
Yeah, and this is still a nasty sub in itself. Look at how low TJ Dillashaw's stamina is, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get out, but he's doing a good job of just using what I call the wiggle. He's not moving too fast because that bar will extend out the faster he moves. He's doing a good job of staying light on the sticks, but Pedro his meter is going up. Look at how big that bar is. This might be tough to get out of here.
Pedro is doing a fantastic job, and it does seem to be in the favour of Pedro, and he manages to get the sub after getting knocked down twice within the third round.
What can you say? That was just brilliant work, knowing that he had the stamina advantage and going for it.
Yeah, like he's definitely the risk of some heavy ground and pound, and then also ended up getting slipped by it.
Yeah, I mean, it's real tough. That is not one of my favorite things about the game, is how easy it is to get a reversal, especially after being knocked down like that. That's such a tough way to lose a fight. But hey, we've all been there. It was a hell of a performance by both men there. It's just unfortunate, but Doomsayer, NWO was able to get him in that armbar and get him out of there.
Yeah. And I was going to say, Doc, do you know anything on these two fighters in the next fight? Because I don't recognise any of them.
Let me double check the fight card. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We have Reese versus Mr. Steely Bay. I'm uncertain as of his current points. I believe they're both making their debut within prime time. Should be a good fight in the middleweight division.
Interesting. Middleweight. I wonder what picks we're going to get.
I wonder if we see a Robert Whittaker, another Robert Whittaker pick, maybe. Oh no, we got a Gastelum and Romero. This one, you don't see these two fighters used hardly anymore, but both of them are very, very skilled. So it's a wrestler versus a striker. We're gonna see which one comes out on top.
Yeah, I was gonna say I find Gaslam's a hidden gem up in middleweight if you can fight well in southpaw, because he's got a great chin and he's got great cardio, so he can suit a lot of styles because he can take some punishment.
Indeed, starting out very early. Romero's cardio ain't the best. He has got heavy hands and he has got good grappling included and a fantastic chin. Gaslam, on the other hand, probably similar to Romero, he just has the cardio included.
I was going to say, have we lost Crooks?
Oh no, I'm here. I'm real interested to see how this fight is playing out. I mean, even if you are Gastelum here in the stand-up, you need to be very, very careful because Romero does pack that sledgehammer of a right hand. But I believe Romero's a southpaw, correct? Is he using them in orthodox?
I believe so, judging by the fact that Gastelum is also currently in southpaw.
Yeah, so I mean, if Romero is a natural southpaw, I don't know what his switch stance is, but I don't think it's very good as well. It's a 90. Okay, that's not terrible. That it's gonna decrease the power on that right hand just a little bit, but it's still good enough to get the job done if Reese isn't careful.
Yeah, and also obviously with Romero's blocking being 98, he can take a lot on the block before he has to start moving his head.
Indeed, lovely digging down to that body. The cardio of Gastelum does seem to be lower than Romero's, which is interesting, saying the fact that, as you mentioned earlier on in the fight, that Romero does have the worst cardio.
Yeah, and Reese is doing a good job of putting that pressure on him.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm liking the pressure Reese is putting on because it makes sure that obviously Romero doesn't get in his groove and being able to land them power shots, because it is deadly if he lands, as I've felt it before. You know, it can put you out. But lovely denial on the takedown by... Oh, I keep forgetting the game of tag. I'm very sorry. Steve Your Bay. I'm just calling him Romero.
Yeah,
he's doing a good job. Romero here is just playing it the way that Romero would play in real life. Still Your Bay is playing it the way that Romero usually does his fights in real life. Good takedown right there by Reese, but this is not really where you want to be at. If you are Calvin Gastelum, you want to keep it on the feet, because if you get rolled here, Romero's ground and pound is absolutely disgusting. So he needs to be real careful with striking up in full mount. He's able to get that denial right there. Good job transitioning into half guard where he's in less trouble. If I'm Mr. Ray, I stop hitting with that hand because he gets a free posture.
That's bad to mention there, Crooks. He does need to stop that. Instead, though, he does get the get up with 20 seconds left on the clock. Gastelum so far seems to be the more aggressive. He seems to be winning this round, although if he continues with the pace he's putting on, he is going to gas himself out and still let Romero take over, especially coming to this second round.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, what is Gastelum's recovery?
It should be pretty high. It should be really, really high. I mean, based off of the fights that I've watched of him, he should have in the 90s.
Yeah, he's got 97 recovery, so he's obviously going to recover a lot.
Indeed, though, that being said, he does have similar cardio there to Romero. Romero now starting to unleash a few combos, just looking for those big shots. Digging down that body again with that straight, he's got to be wary of the uppercut that could get fired there.
Yeah.
If I was... Oh, sorry, Cox, go on.
Oh, no, go ahead, AJ.
I was just going to say, obviously, Gastelum's body stat is only a 90, so if I was Romero, I'd be trying to get some good body damage off, because obviously with the power of Romero in his hands, he could really cripple Gastelum.
Yeah, and if I'm Mr. Steer Bay, I need to make a read on these straight strikes, because Calvin Gastelum, he's throwing every combination, starting it off with a straight strike. So if he can slip counter that, he can get a lot of damage, especially with Reese throwing with low stamina like that. It only takes one from Yoel Romero to really put you to sleep.
And then on another note, maybe not even slipping, maybe throw your own stuff back. You don't just take it on the block, fire your shot back. Sometimes the best defense is an offense, because the current issue is he's walking in a vertical movement back and forth and letting Gastelum control the pace. He needs to start throwing back. You see there, he clips him with a bit of damage, and that's what's doing in part. Maybe too late now, just due to Romero's chin, but it's probably what he needs to be doing, just standing with a chance at winning coming into this second half of the second round.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, Doctor. He does definitely needs to just watch out and throw something back. Get his respect from Gastelum because Romero's a heavy hitter and we know this. We've all seen Romero do it. So, but he needs to be careful and frame some of these ground and pound strikes or he will get put to sleep.
He needs to stop punching with the hand on his head. He's just giving free post drop after free post drop, and this is becoming easy for Gastelum. Rain down his shots, and he's just at risk at getting finished here. This is incredible. Gastelum making a good read on it though, just getting the free post drop over and over again. The cardio of Gastelum though is definitely gassed.
Yeah, he's definitely gassed. He's Gastelum. And I think Romero's just sat there waiting for one straight strike to come in so he can reverse him and flip him over and get his own ground and pound off.
Again, another posture up, 40 seconds left, and he finally gets a reversal. Romero needs to land something big here. He needs to finish here the fight. He lands some heavy ground and pound, fires another straight, and Gastelum's head health is low. But again, 18 seconds left on the clock. Romero needs to pull something big out of here. He just got ground and pounded for a minute and a half straight, and so far all it's been is just Gastelum.
I mean, he got some good ground and pound off there within like the last 45 to 30 seconds of that round. He was able to get Calvin Gastelum's head held down. But I mean, man, when you get on the ground like that, guys, if you guys don't know that, don't hit with the hand that's on the head. It's a free posture up for your opponent every single time. So to see him do that over and over again is kind of wild.
Yeah, maybe it was a tactic, maybe it wasn't. Nobody's particularly sure. Romero's cardio is full damn health. He seems to be walking forward, but Gastelum can still got every shot to land in the book. He needs to fire something. That chin may be low, but the power of Romero is there, and you could possibly just trade one big shot for the entirety of Gastelum's chin health.
I was going to say, not just is his chin health low though, but so is his block, Doctor. So it's taking a few shots and then it's bleeding through straight away.
Oh god, Romero's getting murdered here. His head health is so low. Gastelum putting on this pressure. Low stand, but that doesn't really matter when the chin of your opponent and your blocker opponent only takes 1 or 2 shots to actually get rid of.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's blinking, man. Oh, but he rocks him right there. Good knee to the body. Oh, tries to go with the overhand, but he's not able to get it. That was close. That's the power of Romero right there, but he gets hit with a good time straight right there. Good major lunge to get out of the way, but he gets his block broken, and this might be it. It's going to throw him into the ground and pound. It should be the...
This is gotta be it. Oh, my God. Somehow
he survived it.
Head health is gone. The block is gone.
Oh, and he
switches over into the full guard. Low stand by Romero. Although his reach is similar facts, and we see a guillotine attempt here. The stand bar of Romero standing fairly high, and Gastelum getting a good read on it.
I was going to say this sub defense is a bit iffy. If he doesn't get the counter, I think Gastelum might be able to get the guillotine sunk in.
Yeah, it looks like Calvin Gastelum is going to do it. That bar is he's moving too quick. He's going to be able to get that one. What a great performance by Reese there. Just put it on Mr. Steal Bay. I mean, overall, just a dominant performance by Reese there.
Yeah, definitely a dominant performance.
Yep. He worked it all on the feet. He just worked down the block. Little to help Romero. Even though Romero did have the stand advantage, he wasn't firing back that much. And so he managed to finally just work it down and then end up with a ghillie in the full guard after Romero swept him from the top mount.
I was going to say, I'm looking forward to this next fight, Doctor. Because obviously I've fought Big SD, Big Nige before. Who's fighting next. He's got great pressure boxing, and he likes to work that body nicely. So I'm interested to see if he tries to apply the same tactics against WFK, and I couldn't see the rest of that. Don't know if you know the rest.
Alpha. Big Nye in the red gloves, Alpha in the blue gloves. This is looking to be a good fight coming into this. Dab Modiata as the ref. Ferguson versus Gaethje pick. I'm expecting a war and a half.
I mean, with these fighters, you can't have anything else less than a war. I mean, their first fight, Justin Gaethje just put it on Tony Ferguson. So You can't have a boring fight with both of these fighters. Good spinning back fist right there, but they're exchanging in the pocket. This really favors Justin Gaethje in a lot of ways because of how heavy his hands are. But Tony Ferguson with that spinning elbow could be really brutal as well. So we'll see if he tries to take it to the ground or not.
Yeah, it's not just the spinning elbow you need to watch out for. It's also the 6-9 elbow and all the unorthodox strikes Tony Ferguson actually throws. Because if you just stick to the normal pressure meta, they can easily catch you and they do some heavy damage.
Indeed. Ferguson very much putting on this pressure early. Gaethje looking to that jab and the rear hook coming in straight. 30-second words again. I'll hand it over to you, Crooks.
Yeah, I mean, they're going tit for tat right now. The head health isn't too bad on either fighter. They're really just breaking each other's block. Good front kick right there by, actually a good, man, they're just really going back and forth. This is really a fast-paced fight. Good body kick right there by Justin Gaethje, but he whiffs on the combo, tries to go with the head kick, try to hit him with a spinning back fist. I mean, these guys are not trying to go to the ground at all. They're trying to take each other's heads off straight off the rip.
Indeed.
Yeah. I was going to say that's what you like to see. It makes a fun fight for us to call, is them trying to take each other's head off.
As you say that though, Ferguson does attempt a trip from clinch. Again, though, a flying knee and a ducking roundhouse in retaliation from Gaethje, a knee and an elbow fired off by Ferguson. Both of them not really trying anything major. As I say that though, the spinning heel kick does land it with a roundhouse kicking him from behind. 2 minutes left on the clock and a knockdown in the favour of Gaethje. So far, this is looking like in the favour of Gaethje. Ferguson needs to pull something out big to win this round.
Yeah, he certainly does. He needs to try and attack. I'm sure Gaethje's body is not that low. His legs and his body is only very low. So I'd be trying to attack them, cripple him a bit, make sure he slows down, wind him, and hopefully go there. You're not going to beat his chin too much. It's 92.
Yeah, and if I'm Tony Ferguson, I'm making myself a lot longer than what I really am. Using that switch kick that he has, good, nice knee and elbow right there. He needs to try to get this to the ground where he has an advantage. But if you're going to keep it on the feet, you need to try to make Tony Ferguson's strikes as long as you possibly can, because he does not have great power, but that chin will hold up as long as you're playing him the right way.
Yeah, I do agree. Ferguson has got a brilliant chin. He has got a good cardio. They're the two main areas. If you hunt down the body of Gaethje, you stand to make the cardio much better in your favour. But so far, the head health of Ferguson is suffering, and Gaethje is taking most of this to Tony.
Yeah, Gaethje's definitely pushing all the pressure onto Tony. He's cracked his chin a few times. Luckily for Tony, he's got that 96 chin and 97 recovery stats, so he can recover really well in between rounds.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't want to keep taking damage on that chin, because look at how much lower his chin health is than Justin Gaethje's, and Justin has incredible power in his hands, but he's putting the pressure on him. As you see, Alpha keeps throwing that spinning back fist. That might, if that lands one time while his head health is low, it's going to be a problem. But good takedown right there by Tony Ferguson.
Does get the top mount here. Lovely job by Ferguson. Changing up his play style. Ends up in half guard again, though. Gaethje probably looking to get on the feet, maybe go for a full guard, maybe go for the sweep in general. You've got two choices from the half guard. Does end up going for the full guard. Probably wants to be patient, either let the ref stand up or look for the finish. Instead, though, Ferguson slips out of the full guard, and 3 minutes 40 left on the clock is a good amount of time to work. He doesn't need to rush transition, and he can play it slow.
Yeah, definitely. That's how all the top players do it on the ground, don't they? They take the time, build the GA. And also, what subs are banned from full mount, Doctor?
Mounted Go-Go, I believe, is the only sub you got to be wary of in which is banned within the top mount position at least. And that being said, though, Ferguson didn't need a sub there. He wanted to sub him out by punches. Yeah,
and I mean, he's doing a good job here on the ground. This is where Tony Ferguson has the advantage over a Justin Gaethje, is here on the ground. His jiu-jitsu is absolutely crazy. Good slice right there in the full mount, but he gets put back in the half guard. I thought he was going to posture up, but he didn't. He's taking his time here, getting the damage in. Good transition back into full mount. He's postured up. He's going to try to rain some strikes in. Good post up by Alpha right there, though. Avoids some damage and is able to posture him back down. He's going to go back into his half guard.
Yeah, for saying that Ferguson had such a hell round of the first gate, he putting on a lot of pressure, getting a knockdown as well. Ferguson's done a fantastic job now controlling this fight and then keeps constantly slicing into top man. That head hell of Gaethje's low narrowly avoids getting finished by the post in the post back, and he gets into the half guard. Low stam does try to get the reversal, but instead gets a deny.
I was going to say I'd like to
But a
see Ferguson
reversal and a
posture
half.
down. I'd like to see, when Ferguson's in there postured up, I'd like to see him posture down himself rather than letting the game do it for him, so he doesn't lose position.
Yeah, that would be the smarter thing. But look at the head health now with him doing so much ground damage. It's basically evened out, if not giving him the head health advantage here. So he needs to try to go back to that, if not in the last 45 seconds, keep it in the back of his mind heading into the third round as he tries to time out a beautifully timed front kick right there into a straight, tries to go with the flying knee, but he misses. Justin Gaethje needs to get the momentum back because Tony Ferguson has it all right now.
Yeah, Ferguson's main way
really well. Oh, sorry, Doctor.
Oh, sorry. No, but Ferguson's main way of engaging so far does seem to be front kicks. He needs to think about throwing other shots there. Does land a flying knee as Gaethje comes in with a straight at the very end, closing out the second round.
Well, I have that as 1 round apiece. I don't know if you guys agree with me. Well, Ferguson definitely took that second round for me with the ground and pound damage he got off.
And
also the stun.
Yeah, I would agree with 19 sequence strikes, 2-2 in the second round, 11 sequence strikes to 17 with a knockdown in Gaethje's favour. Definitely would agree that that is 1-1 coming into the third round. Ferguson probably looking for the grappling, Gaethje probably looking for the feet.
Yeah, and I mean, if I am Tony Ferguson, I'm clinching up and immediately trying to throw side saddle toss him right here. But it looks like he's content with being on the feet. Good knee, good elbow. It's a very, very cheeky combination, but hey, it is what it is. You got to do it to get the wins here sometimes. Tries to go with the head kick, but gets denied, spinning back. Oh, good timed flying knee right there. Tries to go with it again, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it. Shoots for the takedown. Gets denied. Good job there by Justin Gaethje.
Indeed, Gaethje getting a couple rips to that body. Ferguson's again. We've seen this a lot so far in the Fight Club card so far. They're very much moving backwards. They need to circle the cage. Don't just walk backwards and put yourself against the back of the cage. You need to circle. With that being said, though, does get a front kick and a trip, but Gaethje manages to roll out of it. Ferguson goes for another takedown, but misses. 3 minutes left on the clock, and it seems to be very much a back and forth fight.
Yeah, it's definitely back and forward. I like that Big Nigel's actually got it back down to the ground. He understands this is where he's winning the fight, so he's took it back there, and I'm hoping he gets... Well, I'm thinking he's probably going to try and go for that top mount, and he does. Can he keep it here? No, but I'd like to see him posture up and land that heavy ground and pound, which he was having so much success with in the second round.
Yeah, he did a good job of getting the side control there, but he let him roll into sprawl. This is not going to be good because this is the hardest transition. Oh, he gets it rather easy. So what does he decide to do here? He gets the back mount smart right here. Goes for the back flat. Now this is real trouble here for Alpha. Oh, but he's able to roll in the top mount. But even then, he's going to get ground and pound rained on him. He needs to try to block the best he can.
He does get the finish.
Ooh.
Lovely job there by the Ferguson. He had a very rough first round indeed. The second round did have a very good round with that grappling top meant we started to see how Ferguson could possibly win the fight. And then coming to that third, it was very much back and forth. Gaethje having more control on the feet, but Ferguson managed to take it down and get the finish from that top mount, ground and pound.
Yeah, and I mean, it was crazy. That's how you have to use Tony Ferguson, though. I mean, if you're going up against somebody that has the power of Justin Gaethje, you need to take Tony Ferguson and use him to his advantages, which happens to be his very, very elite jiu-jitsu. Tony Ferguson was able to do that there in that fight, and that really, in the end, is what got him the victory.
Indeed.
Yeah, he understood where he was going wrong in that first round and then took it to the ground. Brilliant performance from Big Nige to understand and get the finish.
Yep, but with that being said, here we go on to the featured fight of the prelims, Antonio versus Tio Soul.
Is this one on PlayStation or Xbox? I know Tio Soul's on both, isn't it?
Xbox, if I'm not... No, PlayStation. PlayStation, yes. I'm pretty certain he's in PlayStation.
We're in featherweight. I wonder what the picks are.
I think it was Conor McGregor and Dustin. Yep, it is.
Yeah, it was indeed. It's a very even fight on the feet. If you're Poirier, you probably won't be looking to take it down to the ground, just for the fact that McGregor doesn't have the best ground compared to Gaethje. Poirier, that'd be the one.
Yeah, and also Poirier's chin down at featherweight's only a 90, so it's not the best compared to McGregor's 98 punch power.
Yeah, and I mean, actually, like, Dustin Poirier in featherweight is a big decrease because he only has a 90, I believe like a 95 to 93 speed to punch. And McGregor has a 98 speed to 96 power down here in featherweight. And he has a 97 chin. So it's going to be really, really hard to just try to outbox him. But Poirier does always have a chance with that power that he does have in his hands. It's just going to make it a little more challenging with the stats being this way in featherweight.
Indeed, you don't very see Poirier very often in the featherweight division. You've got other picks, you've got Holloway, you've got Volkanovski, who are better picks against McGregor. Even Aldo, I would say, is a better pick. Lovely head movement, no by Poirier. He's just moving it, kicking the legs and just kicking after every missed shot. Lovely hooks there, but again, it just seems to be the case here that McGregor's harder shots are landing.
Yeah, and I like what McGregor's doing. He's pressuring Poirier, making him feel uncomfortable, and he's just landing his own shots, fighting the fight at his pace rather than to your souls.
Yeah, and I like the rhythm that he's fighting at as well. He's pressuring, but he's only doing it with 2 strikes. He backs up, lets Poirier throw his combinations, then he moves right back in, so it makes it feel like the pressure is just constant. When somebody just moves out, you whiff your strikes, and then they come right back in and they're trying to break your block. But good job by Poirier getting off of the cage. Good counter hook right there by Poirier. Tries to hit that pull or that slip counter, but misses. And this is a very back and forth fight. Even though I would think this kind of pace favors Conor in this weight class, it is anybody's fight here early.
Indeed, the lovely head movement of TSO is definitely playing the major factor in how aggressive McGregor can be, but so far the stam of TSO has also been a massive issue here. Poirier having a very difficult time against McGregor. McGregor is seemingly out-cardioing the Poirier.
Yeah, and I don't think Poirier's gas tank's that good down at featherweight, or I could be wrong, because I don't use him down here.
Oh, lovely job there. That's the second time we've seen someone shoot a takedown as someone goes for a spinning plant roundhouse kick. But with that being said, McGregor now ends up in his top position after Poirier shot a takedown. 30 seconds left, probably around a bit of take ground pound or just get straight back up to the feet.
Yeah, I think he's content with just draining the stamina out right there. He transitions into half guard, but he's not going to be able to do anything too much in terms of ground and pound because there's only 13 seconds left. If I'm Dustin, I deny him from getting up, but he gets in the full guard and he postures up with only 5 seconds left. It looks like he's not going to be able to get anything significant off right there.
I would definitely agree. That seemed like it was Poirier's match, although Poirier did have a bit of fun time using the head movement, picking him apart off every counter shot, but it's very unclear of who really took the main factor, and I would definitely lean towards McGregor Pug, but I'm not particularly sure.
I was going to say I'm unsure who took that first round. I was leaning more towards McGregor just because the pressure and the controlling of the octagon. But as we know, the judges are only thing which are lifelike in this game.
Yeah, I'd have to give it to Conor. Ooh, good head kick right there as he major lunged off. But
that head movement finally catching up to Poirier, and he does get clipped on the
this could be it.
Ooh, rubber guard here. Conor needs to be very careful because Dustin does have that go-go plata out of rubber guard. I don't know if that's banned or not. I can't remember.
I believe it's only in the mounted go-go plata. However, the top mount go-go is banned, although the rubber guard is still viable, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, he needs to be very careful anytime he's in that rubber guard because Dustin Poirier is nasty. Has really nasty jiu-jitsu. He postures up here. Oh, he goes with that free transition. That's smart to get into a better position, but he needs to watch the full guard transition. But he decides to go for the half guard transition there. There's that punch to the head again with that offhand. It's gonna offer up a free posture up. And there it is, free transition back into side control.
I don't believe Poirier does actually have the full guard sweep from that position. Does attempt to dart here though,
Oh.
and the steady part of McGregor is seemingly getting this card. He's escaping quite easily. 2 minutes 30 left on the clock, and seems like it's just a time waster here.
I think he's just trying to score some points there, Doctor, because obviously McGregor's getting some lovely ground and pound off, so he's just trying to score some points. But lovely reversal by Poirier there, get himself in half guard. Let's see what K.O. Soul can do from top mount.
So it looks like a good job here by Dustin. He's going to try to posture up. Good denial right there by Connor. He gets him back into full guard. Now, I would imagine he's going to try to get up, but Dustin does a good job of posturing up. Then he decides to get up, which is real interesting because I would rather have Conor McGregor on the ground and on his back than standing up in front of me. But, hey, this is his fight, not mine. So it's going to be real interesting to see. He gets caught with that hook right there. This could be major trouble here.
Yeah, I was going to say Poirier needs to stop major lunging because that's where he's getting caught with a big damage off the rounded strikes. Maybe just try and sidestep rather than major lunge.
Yeah, McGregor's done a fantastic job here working down the low block and gets the uppercut of doom.
And it was on that duck too. If you duck into a McGregor uppercut, it's GG's in the chat for you, yo. I mean, it's just like watching Anthony Johnson uppercut Glover Teixeira and just take the life out of him in real life. That's what that looks like right there.
I think he shot. Oh no! You look. He went for a takedown. They ducked down, went for a takedown, and McGregor clipped him straight up with the uppercut. Oh, brutal. With that fight-ending KO off the cards, we are now on to the beginning of our main card with Freeman versus Loki in the heavyweight division.
I am looking forward to this, Doctor, because we've got the king of the calf, Daniel Freeman versus Loki.
This heavyweight division is going to make things a little more interesting. Let's see who they decided to use here.
Indeed, a car fire in the tournament of Loki.
I was going to say, I reckon Dan Freeman's gone his calf. He normally always does.
Bitter above in your shoe. It doesn't the case. We'll quickly flip back over to the main card whilst we wait for this to sort itself out.
Yeah, I'm not a big calf user myself, so I don't. Do calves make a difference in heavyweight? Because I know it's a little bit slower, or it's a lot slower than most of the weight classes. So, does a calf make a really huge difference, you guys, in heavyweight?
Personally, I don't play heavyweight, so
I mean, in terms of the striking abilities, I'm completely happy using someone like Garn. He's a fun fighter. I'm not sure about the cast. I haven't particularly had time to use them in the heavyweights division personally. That being said, though, we're back on to the fight here with Lokiman versus Freeman. Both of them car picks with Dan Murgliata in as the ref for this fight.
So calf versus calf violence here. Who is going to be the better calf maker here? Here we go.
I was going to say Dan Freeman showed that he had some skills in the King of the Calf tournament. So let's see if he brings them over onto the Fight Club cards.
Yeah, so far does get clipped by the spinning heel kick there. Again, Loki putting on his pressure very early. Dodges out of the way of the clinch. Freeman now happily sitting against the cage, waiting for Lokiman to push forward.
Yeah, Lokiman's putting a lot of pressure on Daniel here. Good spinning back kick gives him a little bit of distance, but Loki's back on the pressure here. He's letting him know, if you make a mistake, I will make you pay for it. Good calf kick right there. Actually gets a leg out defense, forces Loki to switch into southpaw. This might be what Daniel needed to alleviate some of the pressure that he was feeling here in this early first round.
Indeed, goes up, he throws 3-piece up top and then digs down low with that leg kick. It's done a fantastic job 3 times so far. Does attempt the takedown, gets to deny there though. Starts reversing, dig up to the head, and now puts him against the cage. 3 minutes left on the clock, and so far he's actually probably winning this round, although he was getting pressured early on.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd like to see Dan Freeman take it to the ground because I've seen obviously in the King of the Calf tournament that he does have a good side control and he can pin people down there if needed. So I'd like to see him go back to his wrestling.
Yeah, and I'd like to see him. I mean, when he had him up against the cage there, he could have clinched him and just pushed him back up to the cage if needed be. But he's content with kickboxing. He feels confident that leg health on Loki is not looking good on that left leg, which is the leg that he is standing forward with right now. So, oh, good major lunge off.
Oh,
Good damage off of that straight
oh.
head kick. Then goes back down to the leg and knocks him down. Absolutely crazy sequence of events right there. He might be able to get the finish, but he doesn't.
The legs seem to be in a weird position here, but we continue with it. A lovely get up there by Lokiman. With that being said, Freeman's still putting on this pressure, and so far he's got a knockdown and the leg stuns. The left leg, as you mentioned a few times, now blinking as well. And Lokiman, although had a very good start of the round, Freeman's definitely come out of his shell and started opening up quite heavily.
Yeah, and also Freeman's got that stamina advantage. If I was Lokiman, I'd be switching stance as he's just done. But he's working the body nice. He's trying to even out that stamina advantage wherever he can. But I don't think he just feels comfortable in that southpaw stance. He keeps switching back to orthodox.
Yeah, he needs to be careful throwing those kicks because Daniel has already shown the ability to major lunge out of the way and hit you with some heavy, heavy damage. He's doing a good job of mixing up his attacks right here, Daniel. Lokiman's trying to throw something to get himself back into this round, but it's not looking too good, especially with that leg health rock that he just had against him again, but catches him with two hooks off of that missed kick right there. It's very, very close, but Daniel looks like he's getting the better of Lokiman here as Loki tries to drop down for the ground and pound.
Indeed, that does seem to be around of Freeman, though, getting the knockdown, getting a couple of leg help events. As I mentioned, though, Loki did take control in the first round, took control at the end, but throughout the course of that, Freeman was the mainstay of it. Coming into the second round, I'm expecting probably a bit of a change-up by both opponents here, though.
Yeah, I have that first round for Dan Freeman, but I was expecting another crazy kick to come out at the start of the round from Lokiman, but he's playing it safe, trying to work that jab, faking it out.
Yeah, as he should. I mean, he ate a lot of damage. That would make me super cautious to throw that move again because Daniel already has shown that to have a read on it. He switches stance into that southpaw. That right leg is forward now. He doesn't have to worry about it blinking like he does the left. Daniel's doing a good job of staying patient and just taking what's given to him, but he eats that head kick. Good pushing side kick gives him a little bit of room. I think Daniel's just waiting for Loki to make another mistake before he tries to put him out.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that's the case, especially with these calves, especially when you don't have much power, it seems like, is that you're just waiting for someone to make one mistake and then you finish. Lovely body work there, though, by Freeman, digging to the body as well. And then a minute 30 left on the clock, and you guess the other head health blinking, digging up top now, looking for a finish. That right leg, and now no health. The left leg blinking constantly. Freeman has ruined both of those legs, and seems like the unstable base of Lokiman is now starting to cause his downfall.
Oh, that left leg is totally done. Lokiman needs to switch, or he's going to get a leg kick TKO. And I don't think we've seen very many of leg kick TKOs in prime time, have we, Doctor?
I don't believe so. Knees to the face there, though, and another leg kick gets him down on the ground. Freeman now taunting, happy to do it. Spin kick to the body. That Wonderboy starts coming in. Massive favour for him. Another leg kick down. The head kick fired off by Lokiman. And so far, within the space of a minute, Freeman has definitely taken gained control of this fight.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job of he's picking him apart. He's not just staying high, throwing a lot of head punches. He's going down to the leg. He's ending his combinations with leg kicks, which is very, very smart. It's very tricky for somebody to deal with when you have the leg health blinking like he does. Good rip right there to the leg. Ooh, good spinning kick to the face right there by Loki. He's trying. I just don't know if he's going to be able to have enough in the tank to put Daniel Freeman away. Good leg kick knockdown right there. This might be the end here.
I was going to say, I think Dan Freeman's going for a leg kick TKO here because both legs are done.
No, his body rocked there. He doesn't manage to get the spinning kick, which does drop him down. Freeman is just slowly picking apart his body. He's just looking for that one shot to finally finish it. The game doesn't want to give it to him, sadly. A jab straight, a body kick follows, and no stam does nearly get the spin kick off, but he's out of stam now, and Lokiman starting to put on his pressure a bit more, but every shot Loki lands so far, and he gets the leg
There we
kick.
go. And I've got to say, that's performance of the night so far. I don't know if you guys agree. Dan Freeman putting a clinic.
I mean, let me tell you guys something, man. The leg kicks are one of the most underutilized things in the game because they don't give you the damage that they should. They don't affect your opponent properly. They don't slow down the movement like they should. But he worked his legs to near perfection. I mean, if you want to know how to work the legs, you need to go back and rewatch that fight. Shout out to Daniel Freeman for putting out on that leg kicking clinic. He not only did it to one leg, but he did it to the other leg as well. Beautiful performance there.
Yeah, but with that being said, we enter into the featherweight division with TK Mitran versus Salvador, as McGregor versus Holloway get up and ready to fight. Margulato again in the ref corner, putting about 3 times now within 3 fights. Always good to see. Salvador as Holloway, Mitran as McGregor. This is definitely a volume versus punch power matchup.
Yeah, I was going to say I always favour Holloway in this matchup just because of the creativity Holloway can actually bring to the fight. But if Mitran can land them power combos, which we've seen from McGregor earlier on, it can be an early night.
Yeah, it really could. Good spinning elbow right there. Now, if you're McGregor, you have to pick your shots wisely against Max because he does have good durability as well as a good chin. As he knocks him down there with a good combination that ended with an uppercut. Now he's putting the pressure on him. This is what he needed at the beginning of this round to gain that respect from Max Holloway.
Indeed, the knockdown from McGregor has definitely started on a good foot. Holloway's throwing out some of that crazy combos, as you mentioned earlier in the very beginning of the round, Pug. With that being said, McGregor putting on this pressure. 3 minutes second, does get the reversal. Eye now is against the cage, but again, Holloway doesn't want to stand his ground and trade with McGregor.
If I was playing as Holloway right now, I'd be trying to use them the spinning kicks, the side kicks, the push kicks, just to keep McGregor at your kicking range where you do have the advantage. Because I just believe Holloway's kicks are better than McGregor's because you've got the cartwheel kick, you've got the spinning heel kicks, and you've also got the body kicks to go with it. I don't know if you agree with me there, Crooks.
McGregor has more variety of kicks. Holloway has a little bit of trickier kicks, but in terms of kicking power, McGregor does have the advantage. But he's doing a lot of the work with his hands. He's timing things out properly. He's catching them in the slips. Good major lunge out of the way right there by Holloway. But he's doing a good job of just catching them with the power shots of Conor, and that could be proved to be very beneficial. But Holloway does have good durability, so we're going to see how Holloway tries to mount this comeback as Conor's taking control of this fight so far.
Yeah, lovely job there by McGregor, slipping out the way of the flying knee, cantering off the top. So far, Mitran's happy to walk backwards and forwards and just slowly let his punches fly as Holloway opens himself up. Another uppercut there, nearly gets knocked down. Holloway is definitely suffering in the chin department and across all fronts. That bodywork of McGregor is playing massive effects to affect Holloway's cardio. Another head kick there does drop him. 1:20 left on the clock, and we're already into a possible finish. Does get the escape, though. Lovely job there by Holloway.
Yeah, Holloway needs to be very careful because his chin's gone right the way down now. And he's just getting that stamina's so low as well. Luckily, his recovery.
Luckily, his recovery proceeds to die. That was possibly the commentator's curse appearing for the first time of the night. Mitran did a fantastic job piecing together throughout that entire round. Salvador have definitely had some difficulty trying to find his rhythm.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he had trouble finding his rhythm there, Salvador. But as we move on, we've got Jamie Toenail versus White Chunks. Is this Xbox or PlayStation, Doctor?
Dustin Poirier is...
I am not particularly sure, to be fair, but it looks like it is Xbox.
This is taking place in featherweight, correct?
No, it's bantamweight.
Bantamweight.
Oh, it's in bantamweight. Okay. It should be real interesting. There's a lot of choices here, man. I mean, bantamweight's one of the most stacked weight classes in real life. So we're gonna see. Oh, it's an O'Malley versus Jan. Big test there.
Yeah, it's definitely big chest. O'Malley, typically the kickboxer with some flimsy ankles. Yan, on the other hand, is an all-round fighter. He's got the Oscar Gari trick. He's got leg kicks. He's got punches. He's got crucifix. He's got a couple of subs under his belt if he needs them. That being said, though, this definitely favours the Yan pick here.
Yeah, you'd think it favours the Yan pick, especially with that force of nature perk. So if you can get that damage off early, it should be smooth sailing for White Chunks in this one. But you've also got to be careful against fighting an O'Malley because he does have some weird kicks which he can land. Obviously, I know this because obviously KM Basics knocked me out with O'Malley last week.
Indeed, you
Yeah,
did.
O'Malley is a really long fighter. He can stand up to a Piotr Yan. Piotr Yan does have the stats advantage here, but not playing the way that White Chunks is playing right now. He has to press forward. He has to push the pace on O'Malley, not play at distance where Sean is very, very good at, because he can crack you with a front kick or a spinning tornado kick like that right there. Good body rips right there by White Chunks, but he needs to engage a little bit more, especially with that force of nature perk.
Indeed, so far Yan definitely is taking the back line behind, letting O'Malley push here, but I'm not particularly sure he's winning, although it's only been 2 minutes of this fight. Normally you start showcasing who's going to be the one, and the lovely fake there into the tornado kick though.
Yeah, that was a beautiful fake into that tornado kick. I'd like to see Yan push forward, use his power in his hands just to get in O'Malley's face. Now, obviously, don't go reckless abandonment because everyone's still in this fight. It's still early, but you need to be in his face, make him feel Jan's pressure.
O'Malley does get a trip there, getting straight into the half guard takedown. Gets to deny here, digging with those elbows. Does look to deny on the white one, but ends up. Gets to reversal though, fake stop mount. Gets to reversal on the posture up in a minute 50 left on the clock, and you got Yan getting up, interestingly.
Yeah, that's real interesting because Piotr Yan does have the stats advantage against the Sean O'Malley on the ground, but I'm real interested to see what White Chunks' game plan is here, because he's backing up and trying to play at distance with a longer fighter instead of trying to stay in the pocket. Maybe he's trying to set something up. Good body rip right there. Gets a good head kick off.
Yeah, that body did get stunned, flying the attempt there. That's it. It's a really interesting, as you mentioned, correctly. You would expect the O'Malley to be the one on back foot. Instead, Jan's the one on the back foot. Lovely dodge there by with the stun. Des Dempton, a nice flashy kick. The strike coming down the middle. Body work again, but with the knee. Digs down low. Does get the special kick defended, and 30 seconds left on the clock. This is a very much back and forth fight.
Yeah, it's back and forth. Obviously, O'Malley's chin is 92, so he can take a little bit of damage. So White Chunks needs to definitely be in his face and constantly hit that chin to make sure that it disappears, because at the minute, O'Malley just seems to be comfortable at that kicking range.
I'll be honest, I'm not particularly sure what game plan I'm witnessing here. It's a very much backward and forth, correct? You've got to admit, there's no real sense to it, at least from my perspective.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's real interesting, but it plays more into the Sean O'Malley pick because they're playing at distance, and Sean is the longer fighter in this matchup. He's taller, he has more kicks, so it doesn't really bode too well with Piotr Yan. I mean, he can stay in it because of his stats, but you really need to start pressing the pace against him. And he goes with the leg kick right there and gets it checked. He needs to be real careful.
Yeah, he has had some success with the leg kicks earlier on, and the leg kicks seem to have got blocked coming to that end of the second round, but there's no real sign of what Peter Yan's actual play is coming into the second round. Pug.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm a bit bewildered what his game plan is, like yourself, because ideally you always see Yan press forward and try and be in their opponent's face. So ideally, well, I'd like to see him push the action, but he's on his back now, so I'd like to see him take his time and get back up to the feet. But O'Malley's just playing it well. He's just got a game plan in mind, and he's doing it well.
Yeah, and I think what the difference here is that Sean O'Malley, he's comfortable playing this type of fight because he's not having to deal with Piotr Yan's pressure. He's doing a good job. He's going to get rolled here. Now, this is where Piotr Yan, he decides to get up where he has the advantage. I mean, it's kind of bewildering that he's playing this way. He needs to apply some more pressure with Piotr Yan and let those hands go, because if not, he's going to get knocked out here by Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The jab and the jab, he's doubling up on that jab, straightening it straight down the middle straight afterwards. The kickboxing of O'Malley's definitely playing into the major factor. The stam, maybe not so much again. He gets taken down. I imagine he's probably going to does get another deny here, and Blue Tack's happy just to work the side control position.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable in that side control position, should I say, does Blue Tack, but he decides to get up himself, which I think is wise because he doesn't want to get swept and have Piotr Yan land that devastating ground and pound, which we all know he can land.
But I mean, so far you probably go on the ground and Yan will just step up again. We've seen it twice already so far, and now O'Malley's starting to put on this pressure. Yan's suffering majorly. That chin is getting worked by O'Malley's punches, and a minute left in the question. So far, this seems to be O'Malley's fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking control of it too. Now he's just hitting him with a lot of block breaking combinations, but he needs to be careful. Oh, he catches him with an uppercut, knocks him down, but he gets body rocked. That's a crazy turn. Oh, then he front kicks him to the face. Oh my God, man. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I think that was all the downfall. The PTN got the body stun, got up after he got knocked down from the uppercut. Probably didn't realize it as much. Went for the body shots again, and then O'Malley went, "Okay, I'm just gonna kick you in the face like so."
What can you say? That knockout was sweet.
Indeed, indeed.
That was a real interesting fight. I would like to know what White Chunks' game plan really was for that. I mean, you got to press the pace there against Sean O'Malley and cut that reach in half, man. He's such a hard person to deal with when he's fighting you in southpaw from that distance. He just has too many weapons for you to really deal with Piotr Yan there.
Yeah, I do agree. It was a very interesting fight. But that being said, on to the next fight with Chasing Fam versus LW Havoc in the featherweight division. Chasing Fam has had some fun fights, had some good fights. Predominantly a grappler. Havoc, on the other hand, part of the LW camp. We all know how LW is a good mixture of strikers and grapplers, typically striking based though.
I was going to say I've faced both of these fighters, and Chase Me Fan does have good takedowns, but sometimes I feel like if you're getting the striking advantage on him, he likes to panic wrestle that little bit too much. So hopefully he reins that in against LW Havoc if he's starting to get pieced up a little bit.
Yeah, smartly clinches right there. I mean, this is the title fight in real life. Ooh, good pull counter, uppercut right there. Into the head kick, does some really good damage, and then he resets.
Indeed, both of them looking to land heavy shots to begin with. The leg health of Ortega, very slight low, purely because his check. Lovely deny by both opponents there. Getting the deny, and then attempting another takedown with deny. And here we are back on the feet. Leg kick there by Ortega. Both of them and digs the body again. 3 minutes 40 on the clock, and both of them are already looking to put on a fight.
Yeah, I was going to say, due to obviously Ortega's buff in his striking, he can compete with near enough anyone on the feet. But he also has the ground advantage on everyone on the ground because of his subs. He's just a demon down there. They don't call him T-City for no reason.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. T-City, with the boxing buff he got, like 6-7 months ago, he has heavy hands, has a really good chin, as well as great ground. But here we go, Havoc's trying to press the pace, trying to get that damage out. He trips him and takes him down, then jumps into his guard. He's trying to get some good ground and pound off, but good defense right there. And it's going to be very, very tricky here on the ground because Volkanovski does have a good top game, but Brian Ortega does have good off the back. So we're going to see who is more skilled here.
He does get up though instead and pull back there by Chasing Fam. Digs that body on the low stamp. Again digs the body in the knee of Volkanovski is doing a bit of damage to the body as well as the switch kick. The leg kick gets fired off. So far Havoc seems to be looking for the body work and the leg work. Does get a stun on the top. Another switch kick to the body. Digs down and goes up top again. A lovely counter there by Chasing Fam. Nothing too big though to really noteworthy. Definitely does see case Volkanovski starting to take it away in the health department with a minute 30 left in the first round.
Volkanovski is doing really well. I'm liking that spinning back fist to lead overhand. So that seems to be a staple out of the LW camp, because we've seen UFC Turkey use that well on the ESFL camp clash wars things they did.
Yeah, he used it. He used it against Zayev. It's a very, very tricky combination. It does high damage. Good takedown right there by Ortega to try to reset. He was in trouble with multiple health events right there. Good denial right there. Denies the half guard. Elbows him in the head. Good denial on the get up right there. Let's see if he decides to go knee on belly and get some damage off.
Does end up in sprawl though. 26 seconds left on the clock. Gets the backside. Both of them fairly, I was about to say fairly even contesting the stand, but it turns out Volkanovski is doing it with the denies of Ortega, possibly push it into it. 8 seconds left, and here we are. Chasing Fam just ends up in back sitting with the end of the round to go. I would definitely give the favour of Volkanovski doing that, getting a couple of knockdowns with the health advantage and the cardio. Pug, what do you make of it?
Well, I'm going to say that's definitely Volkanovski's round with the knockdowns. 3 knockdowns, and 3 stuns and 1 knockdown. That's definitely Volkanovski round. I'd like to see him just keep it on the feet and keep that pressure going, because it's working well for him. Using the unorthodox strikes with obviously the spinning back fist to lead overhand. I don't know if you agree, Crooks.
Yeah, I do, and he's doing a good job. He's keeping that same pace. He's staying in his face. He's launching off these combinations, trying to break down that block. He needs to be careful. He caught a head kick, though. He needs to be very, very careful here, because Brian Ortega can put you out with the hands as he gets taken down.
Yeah, obviously you've got to be very... Sorry, Doctor. Go on.
Very nicely done by Ortega. Again, down into on the ground now, especially after the striking debacle he did have in the first round. So that being said, though, he ends up again in half guard. Did get sprawled because he got to get up, but he decides to not punch.
Yeah, he opted not to get up, which obviously is not the wisest thing to do, and obviously Brian Ortega on top, because of all the subs he can do, and he's got a great top control as well. But LW Havoc has managed to get up, and he's back in the striking range where he's had the most success all fight.
Oh, lovely 3 there.
That was a good read. I mean, he's got him in all sorts of trouble. Their head health is about, I mean, it's not too far for Havoc to, I don't even know, man. It's just real close of a fight. Like, they both are very, very durable fighters. He needs to be careful launching off these kicks at bad ranges, because one overhand will put him to sleep. Good clinch right there, good knees, but good fire back here by Volkanovski. It's a very, very close fight, even though Volkanovski has done major damage to Ortega.
Yeah, indeed, it does again seem to be in the leading round of Volkanovski, especially that knockdown so far. Neither of them can really set up their ranges very well, just picking each other's blocks here. I would definitely give the advantage to Volkov purely for the fact he does seem like he hits a lot harder than Ortega, but again, that doesn't always mean that Ortega is counted out. As you can see, gets it, putting on the pressure against Havoc.
Yeah, this is what we want to see from Chase Me Fam, getting Volkov's face, Volkanovski's face, should I say, not Volkov, and just land his own damage, because he's got heavy hands himself.
Yeah, now they're more pocket fighting here as well, which favors Volkanovski, but Ortega's holding his own there. Good push kick into a switch kick right there by Volkanovski. Oh, almost a wheel kick that he almost ate. He shoots for the takedown. This is a real curious decision here by Volkanovski, because Brian Ortega can and does submit people from here, but I'd imagine he's just trying to ride the round out just to be able to get another round in his bag.
Indeed, lovely job by a lovely armbar here, but again the escape is going very much so. It's clearly just a time waste, especially with 2 seconds left on the clock and a lovely end to round 2. What do you make of it, Poch?
I was going to say I have that down as 2 rounds for Volkanovski. I don't know if you both agree with me, but I think Volkanovski got the better damage off, the most significant strikes off in that second round, and has now won 2 rounds up.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's Volkanovski's fight to lose, but I mean, it's anybody's fight at this point.
Indeed, Volkanovski. Although you keep saying Ortega is similar in the striking, every time I look at the difference between them two, I just feel like Volkanovski hits so much harder and so much better than Ortega that it's just not incomparable. That being said, though, goes aggressive. That body stun, digs up the top again. Another switch kick to that body, hoping to get a stun, but sadly doesn't. We're already less than a minute into this entire fight card, and again, both of them are looking to kill each other.
Oh, but there we go. Nice little check hook from Brian Ortega, and it stuns Volkanovski. Oh, and a lovely pull as well. But he's just running out that stamp to do anything.
Yeah, and I mean, Volkanovski does hit harder than Brian Ortega, but in terms of boxing combinations, they both have very, very clean and crisp boxing, at least in real life. And with the boxing update that Brian Ortega got a long time ago, it actually kind of makes them both to where they throw the same boxing combinations. But good head kick right there by Ortega does massive, massive damage. He's pressing him up against the cage, breaks the block with the hook right there. This might be it.
Instead, no, he ends up in the clinch position, does look to do some heavy boxing there. Ortega putting on this pressure, probably looking for the counter, and he does manage to do it. Comeback from Ortega. Lovely job by Chasing Fan working it.
That was just a great fight. Chase Me Fam stayed in it and managed to find his pullback KO counter.
Yeah, I mean, it took him a while. He took a lot of damage, but he was able to get that win there with Ortega. And I mean, that's what I was saying with Ortega. He can take a lot of abuse, man. We've seen him do it against Max Holloway. They gave him a very, very good chin health in this game. He has good striking. He does have the spinning elbows, does have crisp boxing. And I mean, if you don't put him away and watch what you do against him, he can put you out with a quickness.
With that being said, though, we go on to Stompy Collins versus the Griff Graf in the heavyweight division. The last fight before we enter into the co-main event, damn right, as a ref again, I think we have Taito Ivasa and Kimbo Slice.
No, when did you ever see these get picked?
No HUD as well, an interesting one indeed. Oh, okay, digs both into the body, works that body, the double hooks again. Not particularly sure who is who here. We'll get double confirmation afterwards. We don't get the chance to see him.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real interesting fight. Oh, the uppercut knocks him down. This is a backyard fight for you right here. I mean, this is Kimbo Slice's backyard fights. I don't know if you guys watched that like 15 years ago, but this is exactly how it played out. It always played out. Kimbo ended up knocking somebody back into a fence. So it's kind of ironic that we get to see this here in Primetime MMA.
Well, again, Taito Ivasa seemingly trying to get on his face, but it lands a clean 1-2. Does get the slip counter, though. Late hook coming in close.
I was going to say, if I'm Kimbo, I'd be wary, because I'm sure Taito Ivasa does have a flying knee. So I'm sure that could come out at any time.
There is no technique in this fight. This is a full-on heavyweight brawl fight here. Just throwing punch after punch, hoping to stun the other person. Does get the knockdown there. Lovely job by Kimbo. He evidently just wants a clean KO.
Yeah, and it looks like Kimbo is just going for it. I mean, even though Kimbo is not one of the best heavyweights in this game, he packs a punch with his power and punch, but he slips into a hook right there. No, Ty doesn't press it. He just steps back, eats a head kick for his troubles. I mean, this is a barn burner of a fight right here.
Indeed, yeah, elbow there by him. What in the world are we watching? Is my answer here, but probably not, to be honest.
Another pullback KO.
Pullback KO by Kimbo Slice. I'm not particularly sure which opponent that is. And it turns out to be the Griff Graf. White on white background. Interesting play card indeed. Lovely job by Griff Graf coming out and just running all hell with Kimbo Slice.
Now we're into the main event. Force MG versus Spartan War.
Indeed. In the lightweight division, this is bound to be a fight and a half. Finally, we don't have Dan Murgiardo ref in the event. Force MG as Poirier to get the McGregor pick in the. This is in the lightweight division, so fairly even in the striking department now. Spartan Wall as McGregor, Force MG as Poirier.
Yeah, this would be a lot more interesting of a fight than the fight that we seen earlier at featherweight, because Poirier does have a stat advantage on Conor here. They're both pretty equal, but he does have those brutal calf kicks that he's shown to hit on Conor before. Good pull counter right there by Force. This looks like it's going to be tit for tat here, though.
It really does. Both of them are just trading shots. Although you say that, it gets the stun, digs up top, and he's looking to get the finish already.
I was going to say Spartan War comes from a well-established PS camp. Obviously, I've heard of the Warriors. I know there's some very good fighters out there, so he'll be training with some killers. So he's hopefully going to put it all into practice here, because he looks to be pressing the action with Conor the way most people do.
And he's doing a good job. He's doing what the Conor before him did. He's throwing his strikes, backing up, letting Poirier miss his combinations, and then re-entering the pocket. That makes the pressure feel like it's nonstop and makes you feel like they're constantly in your face and there's nothing you could do about it. Good knees right there to the body, presses him back up, tries to get him on the fence, but he's doing good damage with these elbows to the head. If I'm Forced, I'm just going to let him press me back up. He's going to go with the knee, exits. Good damage right there by Spartan, though.
He digs down to that body straight afterwards. A straight misses by both of them. And 2 minutes left on the clock. It's very much a back and forth fight here. Oh, lovely job there.
That lovely stun by McGregor.
Comes over the top. McGregor definitely knows how to work after someone's done. He's exploding just in the right time, sticking to that body afterwards, and then coming up top. Seems to be Spartan Wall is leading the fight here, even though they are staying fairly even across the board when they're not stunned.
Yeah, but you see the pressure that Spartan is putting on here. He's making, good front kick right there. While Poirier was trying to throw a head kick. This is really Spartan's fight to lose. He has him back up against the cage. He's making him fight at his rhythm. Good straight right there into a body kick, knocks him down into the ground and pound scenario. He might be able to get this finish here, but it doesn't look like he is. He's trying to post up. He has a sliver of head health. He can't let him posture back up. He rolls him. He's going to get the roll into the full guard there of Conor.
Does go for the armbar, does get denied. Poirier now on top with the part stamina advantage. McGregor does fake it, and with that being said, though, we get another lovely posture up, but does just get rid of the denied attempts. Words. Backs it in. There we are. 20 seconds left on the clock. McGregor has so far won the fight so far with the 2 knockdowns. Poirier probably playing the catch-up game here.
Yeah, that's definitely McGregor's round all day long, just for the amount of damage he accumulated over that round. Poirier needs to come out and just sort of mitigate that pressure by even if it's having to make it a dirty fight by clinching and wrestling.
Yeah, he really does. He needs to try to change the momentum here, because Spartan just has no respect for him. He's just walking him down, launching combinations at him, because he knows that the speed.
Catch your breath. Breathe. Listen. You can do this.
Are you ready? You ready?
Unsure what just happened there, but we continue. Anyhow, McGregor starting out on the aggressive foot. Poirier got knocked down. Lovely job there by McGregor, and he does get a clean finish. That was definitely a quick start to round 2 after a dominant first in the hands of McGregor.
Well, that was a dominant performance by Spartan Wall.
Yeah, Spartan Wall did a fantastic job there, coming in clean, didn't ever really get stunned. Every time Force MG did get stunned, he would capitalise on it massively though. With that being said, we move on to the main event of the evening, Machine Gun versus Don't Wrestle Me.
You think somebody's going to get wrestled in this fight? I mean, one person's name is Don't Wrestle Me. I'm pretty sure that's just an open invitation for somebody to go in and shoot a takedown on him.
Well, Machine Gun is typically known for knocking their opponent down within the first 30 seconds and then proceeding not to jump on him, in which it always screws them up. But it may be the case. Well, we did see Machine Gun going for the
Rob Font pick against a Sun Cell.
This is a real interesting pick because the Sensao is very, very good on the ground. He has a really, really good switch stance, has some good stand up. But Rob Font, I mean, the 95 speed with the 92 power is going to have the advantage on the feet. Sensao tries to go for the takedown but doesn't get it. Now, if I'm Rob Font, I do not want to take a Sensao down because his jiu-jitsu is absolutely elite. But he's doing a good job of keeping him up against the fence, trying to crack him with these strikes. Good kicks right there.
lovely job by Machine Gun putting on this pressure here, but again, we got. He doesn't seem to realise we have 5 rounds to work. He doesn't need to explode instantly, but with that being said, he's just clipping him. Lovely job by Don't Wrestle Me, shooting that takedown with a Sunsao. Although Font doesn't have a brilliant takedown game, he does have a good top and bottom game.
Yeah, but statistically, the sub defense of Rob Font won't hold up to a Sun Cell's sub offense. I don't believe.
His sub defense is pretty good. It's just you do not want to be on the ground with the Sensao because the Sensao does have the grappling advantage here. He needs to be careful punching with that hand on the head. Good job by the Sensao posturing up. Good job posting the hook, but he does give up the free transition there. Now let's see where Sensao is going to go. He's able to block that full guard transition right there. He decides to go to side control here. Now this is real trouble in the side saddle.
Indeed, the side saddle is a risky position here. You have to land some power. Lovely arm trap though by Machine Gun, getting back into the side control. Go for the sprawl transition and does get it. Probably looks to get up to go against the cage, but he may be a bit too far away.
Yeah, this position is just basically 3 body hooks, unless you're waiting for the referee to stand you up.
Does get
It's so hard to get out
go
of.
for the gilly instead, go for the back. So sitting here, a minute 30 left on the clock, and so far, although the grappling advantage has been in the favour of Don't Wrestle Me, Machine Gun did have the more active game in the very beginning of the round.
Yeah, and you can see Rob Font is, if he keeps ripping to the body, he will have the long-term stamina advantage here pretty soon. But he needs to be careful. Good job by his Sensao moving. He's not staying in one place. He's not just being a stationary target. He's trying to cut them angles so that way he can maybe possibly set up a takedown. But it's Font that shoots for the takedown there. Now let's see what he does. If he's going to try to advance or if he's going to posture up and rain down some good ground and pound. He's going to try to from stack guard here. He's getting some good punches off so far.
Indeed,
Oh,
30
but
seconds
doesn't
left
the
on the
darkness
clock. A lovely
lead?
tower reversal off of Don't Wrestle Me. This is kind of important. Maybe looks for some ground and pound. So far, it's been kind of nothing on the ground. He's done decent holding him on the ground, but he hasn't done anything major with it. And so it's probably led to Machine Gun getting that round, Pug.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards Machine Gun for that round. Just the significant strikes and the total strikes landed, and also that one takedown has definitely won him the round in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been really anybody's round, but I feel like Rob Font did a lot of damage on the feet. So we're going to see how he approaches the second round here. I would not recommend taking down Rafael Ascenso.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't expect Machine Gun to shoot the takedown. I think he's had success on the feet, and so he's just going to constantly walk him down, pick him apart slowly, and let the shots open up where he can. He's looking for a couple of those pullbacks. Does get the slip counter. He is landing the harder shots as well here.
Yeah, he could. Machine Gun could also fight off his back foot, so he's got the length on a Sun Cell. Obviously, with him using Rob Font. So if he's scared about that takedown, he can also just fight off the back foot, pop that jab out that straight to intercept, and fight that way.
Well, to be fair, one of the best ways to defend a takedown most times is putting on this pressure, being aggressive. Standing on the back foot does allow takedown opportunities to be more cleanly for that person. So by putting on the pressure, he does stop that threat. You force them to shoot if they're going to shoot.
Yeah, that's the truth. And AJ, I do really agree with you. He does have the reach advantage with Rob Font, so he can fight at a distance that Rafael can't return. But as far as Ascenso taking him down, it doesn't look like Don't Wrestle Me's really shooting anything too terrible in terms of takedown. He does get the trip here, but it's real interesting the way that Ascenso is really playing it.
Interesting. We seem to have paused. We'll quickly share back to the full card whilst we wait for this to sort itself out.
But like we were saying previously about the takedowns, I mean, Asensio doesn't have the best wrestling in the world, so he doesn't have a lot of turning takedowns. He's just going to shoot on you, and then if he can get the 50-50, that's good. But if not, he's just relying on the timing of the takedown. So if you are playing on the back foot with Rob Font, you don't really have to worry about anything other than just a regular takedown from Rafael Asensio.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we just seem to have a slight issue.
I was going to say, I was enjoying that fight. I hope it comes back soon, Doc.
Yeah, it seemed like a real interesting fight that was going on. I mean, Asensio was controlling on the ground, but then Rob Font was controlling on the feet. It really could have been anybody's fight. But what would you have seen, AJ, what would you do if you had been Rob Font in that matchup? How would you have played it differently in the second round than you did in the first?
Personally, I would have fight Rob Font at his, used him at his length, kept him at the end, Asensio at the end of his jab.
Yep, so we are finally back here. Asensio has got his back taken, but now has his back taken by Machine Gun. Machine Gun gets a lovely deny there from the backside, and that's a very low stamp on the case of Don't Wrestle Me. Some
Oh, lovely ground and pound by Machine Gun, and that's it.
Well,
I mean, talk about a change of events right there. We were talking about Rafael Asensio having good jiu-jitsu. He just gets swept and gets put away there by Rob Font. But that's what happens, man. If you're not careful on the ground, somebody can roll you easily, get you in postured up backside, and then just go to work on your head there. Rob Font had nasty ground and pound there and was able to get the finish on Asensio.
Yeah, that was beautiful work by Machine Gun. To get the dominant ground and pound finish like that.
Indeed, but with that being said, that puts an end to our Fight Club of this evening. Been a lovely job with Pug and Crooks commentating this card. Anything you two would like to add?
Just going to say thanks for having me in the booth, Doc. I've enjoyed my debut on comms with you and Crooks.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I enjoyed watching all of these fights. I mean, there's a lot of potential with some of these guys that just fought on the fight card tonight. So hopefully they keep at it. Those of you guys that lost, keep putting in the work, learn from your mistakes, become better players, and I hope to see you guys competing again.
And with that being said, that is us for this evening. Catch us on Saturday, 8:30 BST, 3:30 EST for our pay-per-view card. With that, and that's all. Stick around for the raid at the end, and we'll catch you all on Saturday.